Hello and happy August. Oh my gosh, I can't believe we're already in August. Where is this year? It's just flying. It's doing all the things. It's kind of wild. I wanted to debut this spread here for you in Patreon. And thank you, as always, for being part of my creative world. This spread is like a throwback to some of my simpler times, as I had mentioned in the post talking about the summer of my senior year and actually junior year and all that, and just working in the video store and how like cassette tapes, I mean, I know CDs were already a thing by then, but I just felt for the vintage feel of this that this made more sense aesthetically for this spread. So we're just going to walk through this together and see what message August has for us, kind of like our own soundtracks and, excuse me, archives of our lives. It also makes me think about like summer, when you recall, it's always like, it feels like a return to simpler times. And maybe that's just what we need for this summer months, because there's just so much going on in the world, and I thought it would be fun to play. So let's just get to it, shall we? So we're going to look into this first position, which is the highlight reel. And this is what's worth visualizing and reliving. Maybe these are good or bad. These are the movies that contribute to who we are today. And the message might come across differently for you. It might come across differently for me, you know, but take what you want, leave the rest. You know, as always, that's kind of how my spreads go. So what is worth visualizing and reliving? The movies that we're playing over and over. What is VHS tape worthy? Could be America's Funniest Home Videos. Could be, you know, this is before social media, so we had to watch people be silly on after dinner TV. But what is worth visualizing and reliving? And I feel like this might be the overall theme for August, but they're going to kind of play into each other. Let's see. So we've got the Nine of Wands. Oh, I love that. I love when we get like quote unquote harder cards. So the Nine of Wands, when I see that in this position as our highlight reel, what's worth visualizing, reliving, good or bad, I want you to not look at this as being burnt out, but I want you to look at this as how far you've come on this journey so far, you know, and maybe the matches that have already burnt out or the wands that are already like singed are just all part of your story. It's the ladder of how you got to where you are, right? So this is what contributes to you. It's knowing that no matter what, you've shown up, you've done the thing, you will continue to do the thing, even when it feels heavy, even when it feels like you just can't take any more, you're going to keep going. That's what this Nine of Wands is saying. This is our highlight reel. Look at how much we've done. Look at how much we've overcome. You know, every journey that we have taken to get to this point, maybe we didn't think we could do. And then you look back and you're like, well, that really wasn't so bad. The Nine of Wands is a card that I always think about, to quote the movie Sin City. There's a character in it named Marv, and they're trying to electrocute him, and he's just like, is that the best you got? So the Nine of Wands always earworms me with that of life is here and we're going to get through it. And, you know, when things feel tough, we just got to say, hey, is that the best that we've got? So maybe August is just another reminder of things can be hard, but we've seen hard. Hard is not unfamiliar, you know? And that's the reminder. So it's like, think about a time that you overcame something you never thought you could. And then that brings us to soundtracks, right? So this is the rhythms that keep us in motion. Like, don't be afraid to explore the B-sides of life. The rhythms that keep us in motion. This is our soundtrack this month. It'll be neat if a song pops into my head when I see this card. Okay. The Chariot. And of course, it's like the final countdown just came on. You know, like think of any music that is like Chariots of Fire, you know, just keeping going, right? So the soundtrack is going to help us get through that burnout, like those power ballads, those the part of the you know, the Rocky theme when he's training, going up the steps, when the eye of the tiger, it's like, you know, that's the kind of stuff. So when we need that, we need to know that we are still motivated and we can still get through it no matter what, because we are driven, right? And we are part of this bigger thing. Our life is bigger than we know it, you know, and when we reflect upon that, we really see it. And the chariot is just saying that we can get through, we can get by, and we've got this. The floppy disks here, these are our archives. This one, I have 3 and 4. This is information that is encoded into our soul. These are our learned behaviors and beliefs. So these are things that maybe we need to take a closer look at. Do we need to keep them in this disc, or maybe we need to like reevaluate, to rewrite them, you know? I'm going to read these 2 together. We've got 9 of Wands and the Hierophant. I love when they show up like that, like when you get a duplicate with the tiles, because it really drives home that that's that thing. And so the 9 of Wands and the Hierophant is telling me maybe there's things that you're holding on to that you think have to be the way that they are because it's always been done that way. And that could be contributing to the burnout, like holding on to old patterns and old beliefs, especially with that Hierophant of being like, but this is how I was taught. This is what I always thought it had to be. But it's okay to take a pause and take a step and be like, you know what? I can learn new things. I may be an old dog, but I can learn new tricks. I'm not so far gone. The one thing about being alive and in this world is we can always learn new things. We can always expand our minds. We can expand the way that we do things. We can expand the way we show up for others. You know, so the key is to understand that there could be an easier way. And just because something's always been done a certain way doesn't mean it always has to be that way. You know, this is your sign to maybe rewrite over some of that data. And then the 5 and 6 positions here, these are actions. So we're going to use Lenormand. And this is how we can rewrite or enhance the story. Use these as guides to implement new patterns. We're going to level up, right? And we've got the mountain and the crossroads. And the leveling up, when we get to that, it's saying, yeah, there's been a huge block, right? Like mountain is slow moving. Maybe it's telling you you've reached something that you think is impassable, but the crossroads paired with it is saying it's not an impossible decision. It's not an impossible choice. You just need to take your time about it. You need to really be strategic in how you're going to scale this blockage, how you're going to scale these mountains. And that really plays off of the fact that, you know, Hierophant and the 9 of Wands is these are old ingrained learned behaviors. And in order to overcome that, we have to make different choices and different decisions. And the crossroads with that mountain is saying, you know, there is another path, there is another way. So just kind of pause when you're in this state of 9 of Wands, being like, okay, everything I've overcome. Maybe you look and you see the patterns of how you were able to get through it. Maybe some worked and some didn't. So that will help you get through to this next chapter. So whatever it is that you're facing this August, whatever we are facing collectively, let's put on our theme music, our fight music, and get out there and just go, like motivate, and just know that we can forge new paths even on what seems to be an unscalable mountain and an unscalable task. Again, thank you so much for being here on my Patreon. I am so appreciative of you, and I will be here throughout the month, but obviously next month with another reading for September, holy. And, you know, let me know if this resonated. Let me know what you thought. If you want to try this spread, I'm going to put it in the notes as well so you can try your own. So I'll see you later. Bye.